So the Israeli airstrikes are demolishing Hamas hideouts. This creates a tactical problem for Israel's ground offensive. The terrorists will use the rubble for cover, planting IEDs, hiding their snipers. The debris will also make it hard for Israeli tanks and heavy artillery to navigate, and while Hamas can still move around freely underground. Now, Hamas has built 300 miles of tunnels underneath their cities, and even tunnels into Israel. Hamas can ambush Israeli soldiers from every angle, then snake back down underground. Hamas wants you to chase them underground. The tunnels are laced with booby traps, heavily armed terrorists ready to kill around every corner. It's a maze of death. Some tunnels run over 100 feet deep, making them immune to airstrikes. Israel's destroyed these tunnels before, but Hamas rebuilds using Palestinian aid money, courtesy of Joe Biden. So, why doesn't Israel implode the tunnels now? Because Hamas is probably holding hostages underground. You can't collapse the tunnel into 150 hostages. It's a jihadist labyrinth that'll increase casualties and prolong the war. Tunnels give native insurgents an advantage. Bin Laden used a series of cave tunnels to escape U.S. Special Forces after 9/11, you remember, in Tora Bora. The Nazis built underground layers across Europe. Hitler himself died in a bunker after swallowing a cyanide pill and shooting himself in the head. And then there's the deadliest tunnel system of all, Vietnam. The Viet Cong lived underground, maneuvered around our troops, ambushed us, and then escaped into the tunnels. So the U.S. Army took the fight to them. The smallest guys in the unit, they called them tunnel rats, had to go underground and smoke out the VCs. The tunnels were booby-trapped and filled with North Vietnamese who knew what was around every corner, every dark corner. Those tunnels gave our troops nightmares. They still do. Nam was brutal. We lost 60,000 Americans. And this Israeli-Hamas war is set to be long and bloody. The Israelis need to be ready for a serious fight. Bob Stewart is an Army vet who fought in the tunnels of Vietnam. Bob, tell us what it was like.
Well, you get called in your unit, and they ask for volunteers. Most of the guys, some guys were going to training. A lot of guys were just volunteers. I'll go in. Ain't got time to wait for the other units to come in. So you skinny guy, I was about 120 pounds soaking wet, kind of tall and thin, like a snake, go down there. You got to worry about the punji sticks and the human waste on it and get you infection. And bacteria grow so fast, you amputate your feet and everything else before you can get them fixed. And they have a side slit, you drop in, and then next thing you know, they're bayoneting you. So we'd take a concussion grenade, throw it in there first, scramble the brains of other people that's in there, then get the snakes out, the bamboo vipers and other booby traps they'd have. And you got to go slow and easy. Take you in with a rope, and you get hurt, they jerk you back out. But most of the time, you keep going. There's different levels. They had trap doors with seals on them. You put food gas down there. You put tear gas down there. We even tried to drown them out. Didn't work. They would actually have entrances and stuff coming from the rivers and stuff. These people over there in the Middle East have learned the lesson from the Vietnamese and the Japanese and the Koreans and the Hitler's guys, the Nazis. But so has the Israelis learned from the Americans about how to handle these people. And it takes that special type of person that's willing to give their life up for their country and their loved ones and family, because it takes a lot of courage to go down inside of a dark hole with a 45 and a flashlight and hope for the best. But a lot of times you don't want to use that 45. You try to use your knife because you don't want that loud noise that gives your position away. But I can't talk very much about me, but I talk about the guys in 68, 69, that when they first went in the Iron Triangle where I was stationed at Cu Chi, Vietnam, and the 25th Infantry Division, the 1st of the 27th Wolfhounds, it was horrible. And the old plantation, rubber plantation, it was completely honeycombed. And they had big campaigns going in there to just try to clear it out. But I think of America and what they did in World War II, if the Israelis paid attention, and they do it like we did in World War II through the Hitler and Nazis and Japanese, they had the caves in Iwo Jima and every Guadalcanal. They have a resolve to win that, and they can walk right through there. And you're going to have casualties, and I'm fearful for the hostages, because the hostages are going to pay the price, because they're going to use them as human shields. They figure they play on your Christian heart, that you don't want to kill your own people, and that is the sad part of it. And I pray for them, and I've got their in my prayers every day, because living through that, it's a horrible, horrible thing. And there's so many guys that, just can't cope with that. And there's a lot of guys that committed suicide, and like they call it 22 now with the guys from Iraq and Afghanistan. But the Vietnam vets, every day we were in the holes, and every day shooting and firefights. And I commend the Israelis for paying attention, and they go in and force and do what they got to do, and pray for the hostages. You just...
Bob, you just blew me away. I've
words.
never heard anything that graphic and that terrifying in my entire career. That was one hell of a description of what it's like underground.
Each one of us raised our hands and gave up to, including our life if need be, to go into the service and fight for our country. We didn't ask what your race, your color, creed, or persuasion was, or your religion. You're American, good enough for us. And I think that's the same attitude they have in Israel. You're an Israeli, and they will fight and die for their country and their loved ones. And we've got your six.
All right. Well, we salute you here, Bob. What a
thank you.
Great hero you are. Love you, man.
I don't know about the hero part, but just to serve, did my job. That's it. No hero.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
God bless.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.